The UPSC CSE arena is an ever-evolving space where staying up to date becomes as crucial as maintaining a thorough preparation. With strategic planning and holistic coverage for exam syllabus, Vision IS Delhi presents GS Foundation course. Avail analysis and integration of current affairs with GS syllabus. All India test series with an innovative assessment system, inculcating post-test analysis, discussion, All India ranking, and more. Explore the holistic learning modules intrinsically designed for the ideal aspirant.
Good morning. So, my name is Ram Sudhir. I'll be giving you a brief understanding of how to study Indian economy. Okay. And how many of you are from economics background? Okay. Obviously, I generally ask this question every time I start. Okay. And okay. How many of you are engineers? Okay. Doctors or something? Okay. Good. Next obvious question is, how many of you feel that economics is difficult? Feel difficult. Okay. Why? So, because you're not from economics background, therefore you feel it is difficult. Somebody else was lifting the hand. Why? Why difficult? Like you will have some thought, no, that it is difficult because of these reasons. Okay, never. You have never studied. Okay. Fine. So we'll try to understand whether it is difficult, not difficult, what is asked, what is not asked, what you should be doing. Okay, and how do we approach the subject? How do we approach? Okay, so we'll get the complete idea with respect how to approach the subject. You will understand. But before that, first thing is, why study economics? What is the reason to study? Like why there is a need for studying economics? What's going in India? Okay, what's going in India? Okay, fine. Okay, to get the financial structure of the nation. Okay, okay. Finance is different from economics. Okay, but okay, you'll get you'll get the idea of financial structure. Why should somebody study economics, and why there is this requirement of economics in UPSC as such? So that is the first thing. Now, why we should study economics is obviously we all know that the resources are limited, and it's always very important that you use the resources more efficiently. So always this is a common situation that you will have limited resources. For example, India after independence, our resources were so scarce, and but you need to implement them so very efficiently to get the desired output. This is what is called as efficiency. Efficiency, everybody knows about efficiency. So efficiency is all about minimum input, I should get maximum output. But at the same time, when we look at economics from government's perspective, okay, so why a bureaucrat should know some economics? So looking from that perspective, an economist is like maybe a scientist and a saint. So what I mean by scientist and a saint, scientist is somebody who's more logical, okay, and thought-provoking. Saint is somebody who's looking for equality and equity. Okay, so there's difference, equality, equity, okay. So at the same time, I have to focus on efficiency on one side, efficiency. On the other side, there will be certain sectors or there will be certain people, we call them as downtrodden. The resources have to be allotted to these underdeveloped areas, in spite of knowing the efficiency will be less. My resources are limited. One is efficiency. With limited resources, I should get maximum output. But on the other side, there's one more aspect that I have to take care of downtrodden people, poor people, or there are certain underdeveloped areas where some resources have to be allotted. So that means economist knows about efficiency also, but at the same time, he has to look towards something called as effectiveness. So what do you mind? What I mean by effectiveness is, when I'm taking a particular policy, what is the impact of the policy? For example, you're constructing a dam. Constructing high quality dam at least possible cost means efficiency. Efficient. You're efficient in constructing the dam. But the objective of constructing the dam is to irrigate, let's say, 1 lakh hectares of land or 2 lakh hectares of land. So did you reach the desired objective by constructing the dam? This is what is effectiveness. How effective are you with respect to construction of the dam? Then, out of this 2 lakh hectares of land, how many hectares of land belong to poor? Poor. This is equity. All are not equal. I think you're getting my point. So, when we talk about including economics in policy, it is not just about efficiency, but it is also about effectiveness and also equity. Equity is different from equality. When I say equity, equals are treated equally, unequals are treated unequally. So here, poor people become more important when it comes to government's policy. I hope it is clear. So therefore, if my decisions have to be more rational, you know what is rationality? Rational is less emotional. Okay, so decisions have to be more rational and scientific on one side. But on the other side, there is an element of welfare. So both these things have to be taken into consideration when you are making a policy. I hope it is clear. So these limited resources, that is the reason we study economics study economics for this exam, or why economics is important in policy making. For example, let's look at this. And one more thing, it is not about Indian financial structures. Today, it is a global world. So everything has effect on us. For example, let's say in US is heading towards recession. Okay, there is this word called recession. Okay, that means there is some economic crisis that is about to come in US. Already they are in crisis, but they are saying that we are getting into crisis. So therefore, recently, the interest rates in US have been reduced. Interest rates, which interest rates? Bank interest rates. Like we have RBI, US has Federal Bank, right? And the Federal Bank has recently reduced the rates. Okay, there's this 50 basis point, we call it. So there was a rate cut. Rates have been reduced by the Federal Bank. So whenever the economies are not doing well, so what is the observation here? Two things you observe. So one is the war situation. Where was this war? Now Israel and Iran. Okay, you know that there is a lot of trouble. That the war situation there has affected Indian economy or Indian stock market? That means everything is linked. For example, last 2 days, if you see, the markets have collapsed. So you can't look at a country in isolation. As simple as that. And tomorrow, because of war, if oil is going to become costly, because the areas of Bab al Mandab, trade areas basically, are blocked. Therefore, the transportation cost, everything is going to increase. So therefore, let's say if oil and logistics cost is going to increase. Logistics cost is going to increase. So this can also lead to a problem in India. It might cause problems of, I've written a word here. I've written inflation. What is the meaning of inflation? Price. Rate. Inflation in economics is nothing but rate of increase in prices. The rate of increase in prices means something like it can be 3%, 4%, 5%. Rate of increase in prices. Okay, so when we are studying economics, one thing you have to master if you want the economics to be easy is the terms and terminologies. Always remember, there will be around 300 to 350 terms coming up when you read your NCRTs. And maybe from current affairs, maybe important will be some 100 words. Okay, so inflation is one such word. I hope you're able to get this. Okay, so for the first thing is, if you want to understand economics better, you should understand the terms and terminologies. Okay, no, it's okay. Okay, so the word inflation, is it clear? Inflation is nothing but rate of increase in. That means I can't look at India from a single perspective. Tomorrow, for example, if our RBI is going to come up with their policy, bank's policy, a monetary policy we call it as. Okay, RBI is going to come up with its monetary policy. Now, when they are going to sit and decide, will they take into consideration these factors like current situation of war, which might increase prices in India? That will also be taken into consideration before they frame their policy. That means our policies today cannot be seen in isolation. It is everything is interconnected. I hope it is clear. Understood? Okay, so this is one thing. So in our personal lives also, if you want to take more intelligent decisions, then obviously having a background of economics is very, very important. No doubt about it. Finance and economics will definitely put you way ahead many others if you are able to really understand few nuances of what is happening around you. As simple as that. Very, very easy, but we can't discuss what implications, but definitely it will help you with respect to your day-to-day life decisions or investment decisions, anything. Okay. Now, coming to UPSC, see, generally everybody believes that economics is more technical in nature, right? That means this is one subject which is very close to numbers and maths and graphs. So the social science which is very close to science. But in UPSC, they will never ask any kind of technical questions. It is always about application. There's nothing like theories asked. And that is the reason UPSC economics is not difficult. It is very, very simple. Somebody without economics background can easily get good marks in the general studies economics because it is not core economics. What he wants to test you is application of certain concepts. He is not going to ask you regarding the theories behind that particular aspect. Okay, so for example, there are many theories. For example, Mahalanobis model is there. Okay, so Nehru Mahalanobis have come up with some growth model during the second 5-year plan. Okay, so that second 5-year plan focuses on heavy industry model. Or we talk about some goods like capital goods. Don't worry about the words, we'll come to the words later. But that doesn't mean like what mathematical model which Mahalanobis has framed will be asked in exam. That is not asked when we talk about our general studies. This is one of the main reason why UPSC economics is easy, and first thing is you have to believe that you can do it. And moreover, second important aspect is guessing questions in UPSC economics is very, very simple. Okay, so how do we guess questions? We will see. That means you can we can easily sit and say, these are the important areas from where questions are going to come. Are you able to get this? Okay, it's not that we generally say sky is the limit. Okay, anything can be asked. There's nothing like that in economics. Anything cannot be asked. There are clear areas defined in the syllabus from where you will get questions. But it is very important that you observe and pick them. There are certain themes. Every year there will be questions. Got the point? So you should get hold of those themes and then prepare. So this is one important aspect. Okay. Now, where do I use economics in general studies? If I study economics, it will be useful for me for both one prelims, preliminary stage, then mains, as well as interview. Okay. So when it comes to prelims, this is some data this data shows how many questions are asked in the exam. Okay. So let's say it ranges between 14 to 20 questions. 14 to 20. Here you have once you have 18, 14, 15, 16 like this. Okay, so recent question paper, there were 15 questions. Okay, so around 15 to 20 questions in prelims will be from Indian economy. Okay, now what you should understand is, in economics, 90% accuracy is possible. I think you're getting my point, right? 90% means at least 80% accuracy is definitely possible. That means 8 out of 10 questions you can get it right, and many a times it is easier. Why? Because most of the questions are concept based, and once I know the concept, I can mark the answer. And therefore, always our target in prelims with respect to economy should be minimum 80%. Are you able to get this? Minimum 80%. You can't say that I will answer 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10. No. That is not applicable for certain subjects like economics or polity. These are subjects where I have to score around 80 to 90%. This should be the target which you have to fix when it comes to prelims. Now, when it comes to mains in our general studies 3, GS3, you have around 9 questions coming from Indian economy, including agriculture. Out of 20 questions, you have around 8 to 9. Or sometimes 10 questions coming from Indian economy and agriculture. And we have to at least get something like 100 score in our general studies 3. Okay, so mains is a different ball game altogether. And in mains, what you have to do is, we will see what you have to do, but your target score at least should be 100. Are you able to get this? Okay, so now where do I use it? So here, when we talk about our economics, where is it useful? So economics is useful in different ways. So one is, if I read economics properly, one is I can use it for my essay. Essay is a separate paper in mains. Of course, all your essay skills are not dependent on economics, but definitely if I am able to understand economics well, I can have a perspective, a better perspective with respect to essay as well. So I'll give you one simple example. So there was this essay. Can capitalism be made inclusive? Okay. Do you think capitalism be made inclusive? This was an essay earlier. So I'll give you another essay like poverty anywhere is threat to prosperity everywhere. It's another essay. Poverty anywhere is threat to prosperity everywhere. Okay. Of course, here this is a philosophical essay. Philosophical essay of before last year. This of course, this is a little typical topic. History is a series of victories won by scientific man over romantic man. Okay, so history is a series. So can I link these things to economics? See, one thing what you should understand is, if I understand the concept, I can pick up introductions even from economics. Okay, so for example, for that also again, you should be understanding words. For example, can capitalism be made inclusive? That means the starting point is always about understanding the keywords and terms. That means understanding is not about English. Very typical observation is, you have to go beyond. English will actually fool us. Okay, so you read, oh, capitalism. Okay, so the word capitalism, how you feel capitalism is like private player, and the real essence of capitalism is gone because of the English word. I think you're getting what I'm trying to say. Okay, so when I say demand, Demand is a word. Okay, demand is a word. So for example, I ask you, what is capitalism? Can anybody tell me what happens in capitalism? Okay, so he's saying profit, maximization of profit. Okay, then anything else? Anything else with respect to this word? Resources handled by single person. I say resources are handled by private players. Okay, private ownership. Okay, is that okay? Yes. How many of you think capitalism is good? Simple question. Huh? How many of you think capitalism is bad? You think it is bad. Why? People are deprived with low wages. Suppose I give 1 acre of land to all of you, ask you to produce, and all of you started producing. Whatever you produced as a state, I took everything from you. And then based on your needs, I started distributing among yourselves. What is this? Is it capitalism or is it communism? Communism. Okay. It is not capitalism. Got the point? Okay. Now, next day what will happen, or next month, this boy will feel he is more talented, more intelligent, and he was able to produce more. And still he's not getting the output. He's not able to enjoy his talent or hard work. And therefore, he will reduce his efficiency. Possibility. Okay. So, therefore, today what you observe is capitalism has won over socialism or communism. It is a victory of capitalism. Victory. Everywhere I see, you see only capitalism today. Observe and tell me. Everywhere you see capitalism. Why? Two reasons here. One, capitalism runs towards efficiency. You are more efficient, you are able to enjoy your hard work or your talent, as simple as that. Okay. Second is, it is very closely aligned with human nature. Human nature is inherently selfish. Very close to human nature. Humans are not altruists by nature. Altruism is something that is taught from outside. That is the reason every religion talks about think about others, because inherently you don't think. Inherently you think about yourself only. See, capitalism is all about very closely aligned with selfishness. And human nature is very closely aligned with selfishness. And that is the reason capitalism is also very close to human nature. That means for any firm, any organization to exist, any organization, you require land. You require what? Labor. You require capital. And you also require one businessman who brings all of them together. Entrepreneur who brings everything together. Now, why is this land given? This land, is it given on charity? No. Somebody is giving you land for the sake of what? Rent. Simple logic. Why is labor working? Why is he working? Wages. He's not just working for the sake of working. Got the point? Okay. Or why is capital given? Not profit, interest. Why is the entrepreneur working? Profit. Everybody is working towards their selfish motive. But at the same time, ultimately, an organization stands. This is an organization which is standing. And this leads to the development of the country by creating jobs and growth. This is what is happening. Though everybody is working towards their own selfish motive, but a higher purpose of organization is being built. Okay, and that these group of organizations are running. This is a positive side. There are negatives also. Okay, so positive is, what I'm trying to tell you is, capitalism is very closely aligned to human nature, and therefore capitalism has survived today, wiping out others. In socialism also, don't think socialism means everything is fine, fair and fine. Simple. India in 1960s. Okay, there was corruption, yes. India was more following a socialistic pattern. Number of poor were more, obviously, yes. So you cannot say exactly that socialism is a solution or capitalism is wrong, but everything has its own positives and negatives. I hope it is clear. So when you're looking at this word capitalism, I think you should understand profit, private ownership, It works towards efficiency. And capitalism, who decides prices in a capitalistic society? Who decides? So capitalism runs on the principles of market. What is a market then? So words are coming up. One, we have talked about capitalism, that's a word. Two, inflation, that's a word. Okay. Three, factors of production. What are the factors of production? These are the factors of production that are required for any organization to stand. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. These are, so what are factor payments? When you render these factor services like land, labor, capital, for land you receive what? Rent, labor, wages, capital, interest, entrepreneur, profit. Okay, fine. Now the question is, in a capitalistic society, government is not going to decide the price. Then who is going to decide the price? Market. Then what is a market? Market is a place where buyers and sellers meet. That is what is market. Simple. Market is a place where buyers and sellers are meeting. And in market, what decides these prices in a market? It is the forces of two things. One, demand. Two, supply. See, one simple word when I take, so many words are formed. I have taken a word called capitalism. And when I read capitalism and dig deeper into capitalism, you are able to get few more words. Are able to get this? It's very important. Understand. So then comes this word called demand. Then what is demand? You have to ask. You will not say, okay, demand is demand. This is the problem with English. English problem is, demand is creating demand. No. What is this demand? What is the concept behind demand? What are the things that will affect demand? Are you able to get this? Okay. Can demand be artificially created? Okay, so is always demand real, or can demand be artificially created? Okay, so like this. You have to dig deeper into a particular word. And you have this macroeconomics textbook, I'll come to that, NCRT, where you will look into the things. Like, fine, first tell me, like, what is demand then? You have to be fast. What is demand? Needs, people's needs. Okay. Desire, okay. Only desire is sufficient? You have a desire to buy a Lamborghini, but you don't have a capacity to pay. Will there be demand? No. Simple. So demand is not only about your willingness to buy. You are willing to buy a product. It is not only about willingness to buy, but also your ability to pay. Demand will only be there when there is willingness as well as ability to pay. That means, now very important aspect here, there will be many who are outside the demand, outside the market. This is the problem in capitalism. In the capitalism in countries like India, there are many people who are outside. They are outside the market. That means they do not have the ability to pay for basic requirements like education, healthcare, primary healthcare. Forget about top class surgeries. I'm talking primary basic healthcare, primary education. You do not have the paying capacity. So all of them are outside the market. This is a problem in a poor country. This is a problem in India as well. They are outside the market and society does not consider them. This is what is the problem. Any advertisement you see, show me one advertisement where there is a poor man. One advertisement. Razor ad, car advertisement, LIC life insurance advertisement also. You will not find a poor man. Poor man will never be visible except before the election advertisement. Why? Because he is not in the market. He is outside the market. Then why? I am not going to appeal to the poor man. Got the point? Probably you will use the poor man for your advertisement. For example, 5 rupees Horlicks. The girl hops to become a doctor. Okay, with 5 rupees Horlicks, can you become a doctor is the question. That means you're using, this is what Amartya Sen says, don't use poor man as a tool. Okay, so this is what you're using him as a tool, rather nobody is caring about him. This is what happens in a market economy. Then for them to be included, you have to include them. This is what we call it as inclusiveness, or your economic growth should be inclusive. You're growing, India is growing, India becomes $5 trillion, $10 trillion, but many are outside. You have to include them. This is not inclusive growth. Can capitalism be inclusive? That is the word. Are you able to get this? That is what is inclusive growth. Now, for that, what? Government schemes, bureaucracy. If bureaucrats are corrupt, if the political class is not working properly, obviously the problem is not for those inside. Of course, those insides may come out because of COVID. Because of COVID, though, what happened because of COVID? Somebody was here, has moved out. Okay, so, but the problem is because of corruption, inclusiveness cannot be achieved if your government schemes fail. Okay, so especially with respect to education and healthcare. Primarily education and healthcare. I think this is clear. This is what you should do. Looking at a word, I will not stop with the word. I'll try to understand what the word is and then go deeper. This you can observe across. For example, in the society, when you make an observation, you see any advertisement, LIC advertisement you see. Middle class husband going to office, nicely shaved, white shirt. Wife is cooking. Wife gets a dream. Husband no more. Jeevan Suraksha. This is the advertisement. You will not find a farm. You will not find a poor man, old man going to the farm. Okay. Snake bite. He is no more. Jeevan Suraksha. The advertisement can be like that, no? But advertisement is not like that. Simple logic. Why the advertisement is not like that is something because obvious. You are not having the paying capacity. Why will I come up with an advertisement for you? As simple as that. This is what you observe when you talk about capitalism. Capitalism is good also. But is capitalism inclusive? This is how your thought process should move. You cannot say, okay, inclusive growth. English word. Inclusive growth. Economic growth. Economy is growing. No. What is economic growth? Why is it happening? Today, why India is running faster than other countries? If India has to run, what are the supporting factors? What is the problems which India will face in next 10 years down the line? This is all thought process. Nothing is there in the book. I have to think. Everybody thinks, no, how much I read, I will write very good answers. No, you have to think more, read less, revise again and again, think more. I think you got my point. Is that clear? Understood. So here if you see, using economics essay in philosophical, you can use it. See, history is a series of victories won by scientific man. Scientific man means more rational, more logical in his thought process. Romantic man, emotional. Okay. So emotional man, Karl Marx. Scientific man, Adam Smith. I'm not saying scientific man is good. I'm only saying it's a victory of Adam Smith or capitalism over socialism or communism, because it is more scientific in terms of efficiency and more scientific because it is more closely aligned with human nature, that is selfishness. And that is the reason today communism will never survive. People like Che Guevara would have committed to promote or fight against capitalism, but it will never survive. Very difficult. Because people are inherently working towards themselves. I think, is this clear? Understood, right? So this is how you look. I'm not discussing the essay. I'm telling you a term. I can see economics in the term, provided I understand the words. I can see economics in that essay when I understand what the word stands for. Then I can start my introduction, even taking up any examples of Adam Smith or even Karl Marx. Victory. Is that okay? Yes.
Does the vast syllabus of general studies for the UPSC prelims overwhelm you to initiate your preparation for the civil services examination? Is your apprehension and self-doubt coming in the way of your success in joining the civil services? Comprehend your preparation for UPSC Prelims 2025 with the fast-track course targeting general studies with innovative curriculum, revision and mentorship. Starting from 19th November at 1 p.m., the course offers coverage of UPSC GS Prelims subjects, dedicated mentorship support and guidance for performance maximization, access to PT 365 classes for current affairs preparation, sectional mini tests for regular assessment and performance, personalized student portal to access study material, access to live and online classes. Enroll today and make prelims your stepping stone to proceed to the UPSC mains. Completing the syllabus without proper knowledge of current affairs will not take you far in the UPSC Civil Services examination. Regulate and transform your preparation with complete coverage of news of relevance. Get a concrete hold of current affairs for UPSC CSE with Vision IS Monthly Current Affairs Revision Program starting from 20th September at 5 p.m. The program is your guide to get comprehensive news on one platform sourced through relevant resources such as The Hindu, Indian Express, Economic Times, PIB, Yojana and others. Enroll for complete coverage of current affairs including Indian polity and constitution, economy, international relations, and more. Comprehensive assessment of preparation through MCQs and mains-oriented questions. Expert support through personalized mentoring and online doubt resolution.
So this is one important aspect. This is an essay I can use economics. Yes, definitely we can do that. Okay, and when it comes to prelims and mains, what we will do, I'll come to that. Even in the interview, so when I read about economics in the newspaper or when I'm watching news, it is always about application to Indian economy. Always remember this. Anything is happening, what will be the impact of that on India? Recession in US, what is the impact on India? This is my perspective should be thinking, I should think from that perspective. For example, in US, the federal bank has reduced the interest rate. What will be the impact on Indian economy? What will be the impact on RBI's policy? This should be your perspective. If this war is happening in Israel and Iran, what is the impact on India and Indian economy as such? What can happen? With respect to remittances, Indians working abroad, sending money to their families. This is a huge source of income, or you can say huge source of revenue that is moving into the Indian economy. Our external affairs head says this is not brain drain, it is brain deposit. All these IITians who are going abroad sending money to their families. Now if the West Asia is not happy, the Muslim countries are not happy, if US economy is not doing well, then obviously these remittances movement into India will be reduced. And there are some states which are remittance driven states. Every state has a different model. For example, if you talk about Hyderabad, Bangalore, these are software IT driven states. When I talk about Orissa, Jharkhand, these are resource-driven states, mineral resources. We talk about Kerala. Kerala is a remittance-driven state. In Kerala, Kerala's economy runs primarily on remittances. Kerala is a consumption state, consumes, not a manufacturing state. Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu are a manufacturing states. Are you able to get this? So remittance-driven growth is there for certain states. Now, what can happen to growth of such states if the Muslim nations are not happy? Because many of them go to Gulf countries and send money to their families. If the Gulf countries are not happy, if US economy is not, we get maximum remittances from US. And then Gulf is also important for us. Okay, so this is how you look at things like, oh, if something is happening there, what would be the impact on Indian economy or India as such on a whole? I hope it is clear till there. Understood, everybody? Okay, so few things which you should remember is, first thing is, never you should believe that it is difficult because somebody has told you it is difficult. You should explore it for yourself. If somebody is saying this is very difficult, you can't do it. Okay, then the question comes up, why is it difficult? Okay, then I have to explore it by myself. I should explore. I should dig deep and see what is the situation. You can't say some topper is coming and saying, or maybe some veteran who has failed UPSC is coming and saying, UPSC is difficult, this is difficult, that is difficult. Then I will explore what is the difficulty. Why is it difficult? Okay, so first thing is very complex and technical. No. Why? Because UPSC, what they ask is application based. There are no difficult graphs, there are no difficult numbers, there is nothing like theories, it is only application. So this is a myth. Okay, fear of numbers and graphs. Some people don't like maths, or they have a fear of numbers. The application of last graph based question that was asked in prelims was 2002 in the prelims, and after that there was not even a single graph based economic question that was asked. So fear of graphs and numbers is not required, and that is completely different, and what they are asking in UPSC is completely different. Is economics background required? Not at all required for general studies. Now you should remove that from the mind. Somebody was saying, I am afraid of economics because I'm not. First of all, if you are from economics background, then there is no requirement, only you have to only revise if you are properly studied economics. Okay, since you are not from economics background, the logic is very clear. You are fresh. You need not remove anything to learn something new. And therefore, and it is very simple to understand. Then interpreting news articles, this is something which, interpreting news articles. Now the problem is every news article looks very important. But that is not the way you read. It is, first thing is you have to observe what is there in my syllabus. I'll come to the syllabus. Second is what are the previous questions. These are the two things. The most important things before you start your preparation. Stick the syllabus and see the previous questions. And whenever an article comes up in newspaper, is it relevant with respect to my syllabus? If it is relevant, I will spend time. If it is not relevant, if you are interested, probably you can glance through. It is, you need to be commercial with respect to preparation. You need to be like a capitalist with respect to preparation. You know, this is what is important, this is not. So where I should spend time. It is more about which one I have to leave and which I have to, which area I have to focus. How do you get to know? This is purely based on syllabus and PYQ. Remember this. Syllabus and PYQ, if you are able to master, 60% of our job is done. Remember this. Okay. And then bulky textbooks in the market, not required. There are many textbooks. Everybody is writing one textbook. Okay, so, and most of the textbooks are a combination of other textbooks. They keep 4 textbooks and write one book. Okay, so the question is, whomsoever you believe, trust them properly. It may be anybody. One textbook, and that's all. You not keep on changing the books. Because some topper has said, I've read this. Somebody is coming and saying, I've read this. Somebody says, I've not read anything. Some topper says, I've never touched newspaper. No confusion. We are very clear on what we are doing. Got the point? Because everybody has his own way of preparing. And everybody is different. There is no one way. It's not like this, no, I do this, this, this. No. You have to drive your car. Okay, so you have to drive it and you only take inputs. And based on your system, you have to design your strategy. I think you're getting my point. You have to design it. It's not like somebody said, not this book, take Ramesh Singh. Not Ramesh Singh, take something else. Not like that. You've selected one book. Before selecting, be very careful. Do your research. Select your materials properly. And after that, I'm not going to change. As simple as that. Is that okay? Right. So this is one thing. And many people get many students feel like all the questions are from this material because somebody has mentioned on YouTube that never ever like all the questions will come from one material. If I make a 2000 page material for general studies, everything will come from there only. Got the point? If I make a 2000 page material, if you make 20 page material and show me, and from that if the questions are coming, then I agree. Got the point, right? So don't get fooled. Many a times in the books, the material is added after the question comes up. Got the point, right? This is a very important observation to sell the book. Okay, so for example, Nitin Singhania's history or whatever it is, of course I should not take name, but for example, Sun Temple. Sun Temple, once Sun Temple comes up, then 50 pages on Sun Temple are getting added, let's say. Just an example, I'm not against anybody. Okay, so that is the reason every year these textbook size keeps on increasing. Add on, all questions from my text. No. Select one textbook and peacefully read, that's all. Is that clear? So what you should do, what you should not do, don't worry about all that. That is what you should not do. What you should be doing is strictly stick to basics. Basic means terms, terminologies. Understand the words properly. Second, linking concepts with real life examples or situations. Or capitalism, link it to real life. Unemployment problem. Currently, US has come up with a monetary policy, right? So, of course, monetary policy is a word. If you don't know, don't worry about it. So, US banks, the way they function will change now. Okay, so now what is the impact? Okay, why did they do that? These are questions which you ask. When you ask questions and find solutions, you will never forget that you should develop. Link things to current or real life situation, which is very important. Got the point? Yes, very important. Don't believe the market or veterans who complicate things. I've already explained. Somebody is making things, see, genius is somebody who makes things more simple. Genius is not about complicating things. Suppose if you have read economics and able to explain it to your friend, and if that fellow is able to understand what you are explaining, that means you have understood. Simple, what I mean by that is, if he is giving jargons and theorems, and that is pretending that you are intelligent. If you have, that is the reason, no, writing something in 100 words, 150 words is very difficult. Simplifying things is very, very difficult. Why? Because if you want to simplify things, you have to understand them well. Then only you can simplify. You are always into making notes without understanding, then your notes will be bulky. You make a short notes only when you have understood the subject. First understand, then make notes. So this is what I mean. So don't complicate, don't make things complicated. Another important thing, complete research. Research means what I will tell you. Research is not about English reading. This question, see, okay, no, I'm not satisfied. I will do PhD on the question, not in economics. I will do PhD on UPSC questions. I think you're getting my point. No, I will spend maximum time in understanding the mind of the examiner. Okay, so once I've understood, see, some people with 3 hours preparation, they clear the prelims. Some study for 13 hours, but still no. Why? This 3-hour fellow, while working also, he clears prelims because he has understood the examiner's mind. Once you understand, you will mark the answers. You will clear, at least you will get the cutoff. This is what you should. So that is basically research. I'll come to that. Make your own handwritten notes, yes. Make your own handwritten notes after understanding the subject. Is that okay? See, UPSC does not define prelims syllabus clearly. There are more than, there are around 12 topics in UPSC prelims, which we pull out from our previous year questions. UPSC never says national income, money and banking, okay, so capital markets, poverty, unemployment, it will not define. But main syllabus of UPSC is clearly defined. This is main syllabus of UPSC. It is clearly defined means, it is telling you, I will ask from here only. You don't run around Yojana Kurukshetra magazines. We are going to ask questions directly from here. UPSC is telling you, but still students are like, no. We will read everything else other than NCERT. Got the point? And you have to stick to this. I'll tell you, see, scope and significance of PDS. Public scope and significance of food processing, it was asked already. Challenges of PDS, challenges of public distribution system, already asked. Okay, so clearly mentioned food processing, scope, significance, location, upstream, downstream, requirements, supply chain. Land reforms, go check this year's mains paper, there is a question. Go check last year's mains paper, there is a question. This year paper you check, there is a question on land. You go and check. This year, download GS3, see land reforms this year. And last year land ceiling, again, he has mentioned in the syllabus, he is asking. That means telling you, please read. Got the point? Inclusive growth, always every year there will be question. Every year, there will not be a question paper without inclusive growth. That means I should prepare my 3-page notes on inclusive growth. UPSC is clearly telling you, I'm going to ask from because it is developmental. As a bureaucrat, you are not going to invest money into stock market. That is not the purpose. You're not an investor. You have to solve the problems of the common man. That means developmental issues will be asked in the exam. What are developmental issues? Job market, unemployment, poverty, inclusiveness, problems of capitalism. This is how. Sectors of the economy, how are they doing? How is agriculture doing? How is manufacturing doing? How is service? This is what they are going to ask you, because these are developmental issues. So very clearly demarcated, the syllabus is very clearly demarcated. Stick to the syllabus, make notes on the lines in the syllabus. Suppose I say mobilization of resources. This is a line in the syllabus. I'll make a 10-pointer or a 15-pointer on mobilization of resources. Inclusive growth and issues arising from it. Clearly mentioned. Every year question is there. Go check the question paper. Go back today. Check today's. Go and check the first question, you will find. Go back to the before last year, you will find inclusive. Get this? So stick to the syllabus. Prepare notes according to the lines in the syllabus. Okay. But prelims is like, there is nothing like mentioned. This list is prepared from previous papers. After observing the previous paper, you can break down the syllabus into certain topics. Are you able to get this? You can break down the syllabus into certain topics based on your PYQ. Previous year questions. Got the point? And then, first thing, understand the concept, words, then solve previous questions of UPSC. Civil services. Then solve UPSC conducted exams, CDS, CAPF, there are questions, solve that. Then come to our mock tests, solve the mock test. Mock test, you will not, it is not for demotivation. Mock test is to enhance your understanding and practice. So every question mock test which you are not able to understand, make a separate note on those areas, which you will revise again and again. Keep one standard textbook which you like. Somebody would have told you like this book is good, fix to that textbook and go ahead. Is that okay? Right? So this is about the topic. Don't worry about the topics. Any of these slides will be given to you. So you can later on go check the topics which you have to focus on. Okay. Now, while selecting the books, of course, I believe in a minimalist approach. What is the meaning of minimalist? I'll keep number of reference books, very few reference books, which I read again and again. I think more, write more, and see how toppers are writing. I think you're getting my point, right? So rather than reading, of course you will not read. You only think that you will read. You believe that you can read 3 textbooks. You will start, you will not complete any textbook. By the time you complete one, you pick up one more. That also you will read half. Or 30%. Then somebody will say, not this, my friend cleared UPSC, he has read this textbook, you also read. He has cleared UPSC because of something else. Got the point, right? Okay, so now here, there are 3 categories here. Now, one category I have written basic reading. What is this basic reading? Somebody who is very low on confidence. Now they say, I don't know ABC of economics. What should I do? Okay, so there is this book. This is called So You Want to Know About Economics by Rupa Pai. You can order it on Amazon. See the size? Now, this is for those who believe that I don't know what is black money, what is laissez-faire, who is Adam Smith, what is money, what is market. Got the point? You want to start from there. Never ever in your life you have read about economics and you feel very low, you don't know anything, then first read this book. Not for somebody who knows something, don't read. But you don't know anything, then read this book. This is not written for UPSC. This is written for a school kid, okay, who wants to know what are the different words. That is this book. This is not for everybody. I've written very basic. I want to start from here, not NCERT. NCERT will create trouble. This is far easier than NCERT because there are examples and other things. You will understand. Next is, for basic reading, I've written one more book here. 75 Years of Indian Economy. This is the textbook. This is, of course, this is not written for UPSC again. This is written by Sanjay Baru. He was a person very closely in the government who has observed the policies of the government over 3 to 4 decades. That means he knows in and out what is happening in Indian economy, and he has written Evolution. This is something like re-emergence, re-emerge, reinvest, re-engage. India and China were doing very well Because of the British rule, so India and China were contributing to more than 1/3 or 1/3 of global output. But because of the British rule, everything went down. And now we are talking about re-emergence. It is not India is emerging, India is re-emerging. It is not the first time. Are you getting my point? So he explains how our 5-year plans evolved. This we will read for interview, but you can read it beforehand. I think you're getting my point. We have to read for interview, but what you can do is you can order this book and you can read 1 or 2 pages every day. Got the point? This is not linked to your, you will write better introductions. This is called as basic reading. Got the point? Right? This book is choice. This book is choice. Second one is a choice. Okay, so because this is very, very basic, you might feel what is the 6th standard book like. But I believe that if you don't know anything, start from here. Okay, so before going to the class, you can read that book. It gives you detailed understanding. Is that okay? Like, what is laissez-faire? Don't know what is laissez-faire. I'll understand the word what is laissez-faire. Nothing wrong in knowing things. Huh? You might be at minus also, it's okay. You don't have that thought process that I am, somebody is here, and I am, no. We can cross, we can jump, we can leap. That confidence should be there. Okay, so that is the reason this book I've written. Then see, prelims I've written some books here. One I have written, the first book to be read for UPSC is Indian Economic Development, your NCRT. You will start from that textbook. You will not start from macroeconomics textbook. You will not start from introductory macro. Why? Because there will be numbers and graphs, and you will find, oh, economics is difficult. That should never happen. You should find economics is simple first. When you if you feel something is difficult, then the effort you put would be limited only, because your confidence is coming down. So first thing you do, read this and then move on to the first textbook for UPSC preparation which you are reading should be Indian Economic Development 11th Standard NCRT. Is that okay? Understood? Then you read Introductory Macroeconomics NCRT. This is again NCRT only. I have not written micro. Some will say, sir, last 8 years, there were 2 questions in micro. Microeconomics, you can, understanding the terms is sufficient. You need not read the whole textbook and confuse yourself. Not required. So I've written Economic Development, Introductory, Macro. Is that okay? Yes. Then I've written one more book here. This is a choice. I have written Indian Economy, Key Concepts by Shankar Ganesh. This is only for prelims. Of course, why did I write this book is, the reason is, the book is small. The book is not bulky, and it is for prelims. It is very handy like this only. And you can read basic concepts from there. That is the reason I have written. Now, suppose somebody has already purchased Ramesh Singh or some other textbook. Okay, then you need not buy this. Got the point? Okay, so Ramesh Singh is very bulky. That's the reason I don't suggest Ramesh Singh. Got the point? Okay, but if you are already purchased it, then why 2 books? You read that only for, if you are interested, you are okay with that book, then continue. Okay. Is that clear till there? Now coming to mains, primary source should be internet. I believe internet is the best source. Any doubt I have, you go to that particular website. For example, I have a doubt with respect to WTO. I go to WTO website. I don't go to coaching website. Coaching Institute website will come later. This is second-hand material. No? First, I go to WTO. I directly try reading. If it is complicated, then I will read from the coaching material. Coaching material is, many websites are there, no? UPSC website. So first go to the core website. Suppose agriculture I am reading. I go to the Ministry of Agriculture. Are you able to get this? Okay, so that is a better way of reading. But there is no time, then definitely you can use several coaching websites are definitely there. Vision IAS website also, you can read current affairs. So that is, when you are reading, so primarily I will go to the main website and then come to the coaching institute websites. Both are important, but first thing is that you have to check. So use more of internet. Then Vision IAS value addition material for mains. This is very important. Why it is important is because there are some areas which are not there in the textbook, and there is a separate compilation, and this compilation will be very handy. It will save your time. That is what is the logic. So that is why I have written that. Okay, so then no sir, we want a textbook. Then which textbook? There is no specific textbook for mains, and if somebody is saying all mains questions you can write from my textbook, it is not possible. But if you want a textbook, then there is this book called Indian Economy by Mishra and Puri, and this I have written only refer. That means if some topic is important, I will go and read it from there. I can't read the whole book. Is that clear? Understood? Okay, so this is how. Then I have to read economic survey and budget. This is for both prelims and mains. So you can read Vision IS document also. If you're not in a position to read the whole document, you can read the synopsis. Okay, and for current affairs, now for current affairs, what should I do? Now for economics current affair, one, I will read newspaper. Now somebody may say, sir, some toppers have not read newspaper, but I always suggest 1 hour of newspaper reading or 45 minutes of newspaper reading is good. Don't think like, oh, this question will come or not. But first of all, you'll get some confidence and hold on what is happening. Okay, Indian Express I have written, you can read Hindu also, but Indian Express explained column is more simple and more close to UPSC. That is the reason I have written this. But some people are habituated to reading Hindu, continue with Hindu. You need not read Indian Express then, only read one. Okay, so that is one. Second is, we have our current affairs PT 365 and mains 365. So you have to read, it's not that I will only read this, no, this is important. Okay, and we have our monthly magazines. Monthly magazine, if you can't read PT and mains 365. But this is also important. Is that okay? Keep your newspapers handy. Okay, then economic survey and budget. This is important. Is that okay? So for current affairs, this is the source. Everything is available. Clear? Now doing research, I'm not going to solve, but tell you, see, doing research on PYQ means what? So doing research on PYQ means, suppose there is a question and there are some words which are there in the question. I will do research on each word which is visible. That is how preparation starts moving. Suppose now the word has come, foreign, this is the question says, which of the following is not part of FDI? This is the question. So that means, first of all, I should know what is FDI. Okay, so you'll get to know what is FDI after some time. But now see the words here, foreign currency convertible bond. Then I start reading, what is this? Tomorrow, this area can be a question in the exam. Then you have reading GDR, Global Depository Receipt. I do research on that. What is it? Why is it there first? What is the need for this receipt? Where? So can I buy this receipt? Who buys these receipts? Like that is how the research starts. And tomorrow this GDR will be a separate question sometime. Is that okay? NRE deposit. So each word itself. So this one question might take half an hour or 40 minutes or sometimes even 1 hour also. When I'm reading each word, going deep into each word. And is it required? It is 100% required. This is UPSC question, doing a detailed research. This you have to develop. Okay, so when I say research, research is not solving. Is that clear? Okay, so here you can see, for example, there were, which of the above are considered as intangible investment? We're not solving the question. So first of all, what is investment? What is tangible? What is intangible? I think you're getting my point. And then get into the, don't go to the answer and say, oh, inventory is not there. So you read inventory. Then what does inventory constitute? Inventory is something which has finished goods. Okay, it has raw materials. It has semi-finished goods also. All the three are part of my inventory. Maruti has inventory. Vision IS also has inventory. In Vision IS inventory, there may be more magazines and materials. In Maruti's inventory, there will be finished cars in the godown or semi-finished cars or the raw materials required for making the car. Everything is part of my inventory. Is that okay? So inventory is also investment, but it is something which I can feel and touch. Intangible means something which I cannot feel and touch. I think. So investment will always give me future return. What is investment? Investment is something that gives me future return. Will brand give me future return? Yes. Brand is something which may not be visible, but that gives me return year after year. What is the benefit? Why people spend billions of dollars? Nike, billions of dollars on basketball players and puts a tick mark and says, just do it. And they will manufacture the shoes in third world countries, making them work for 19 hours. making women work for 19 hours, paying meager wages, but the money will be spent on just do it. Got the point, right? This is the negative of capitalism. I hope it is clear, right? So dig deep into the words. Okay, now when I talk about notes, make crisp notes for faster revision. My notes, final mains notes should not be more than 80 to 100 pages with flow charts and everything. My handwritten notes. I will revise it 100 times. Before exam itself, I can revise it 10 times if it is a crisp note. You're again making a 400-page notes. There's no point in making notes. Got the point? So, but to make such notes which is crisp, I should understand things well. And when I'm making notes, I can keep a topper's note as reference and prepare notes. Okay, so better is preparing notes on laptop. If it is difficult, then white pages, because things have to be added. Got the point? Laptop, because I can copy paste things and things should be easier. Okay, but if it is you are not so tech savvy, you don't like that, you want to make a physical notes, do it on white papers. Okay, so then separate fact sheet for faster processing. Always have a fact sheet. I'll keep all the data at one place, which I keep seeing again and again. You might say, no, facts, I'll remember. Nobody will remember anything unless and until he sees things again and again. So this is what I mean. So prepare pointers on topics of main syllabus. Every line in the syllabus, I'm making 10 points. This is what I mean by focus on value addition. A value addition is the last thing. A value addition is something like, I will come up with graphs and all that. That is the last stage. So that will give me half additional mark for each question. And that may be giving me 9 marks in one paper. So that is what is value addition. Is that okay? Understood? Yes. So last thing is, see, when you are, you will download topper sheets. Vision IS portal, topper sheets are there. And download topper sheets once you start your preparation. See how the toppers have written. Topper is not God. Topper is topper. Wait there, we are also coming. This should be the attitude when I'm seeing the topper. We are overconfident and we are not underconfident as well. You are something like feeling, okay, this topper is good. I will learn from the topper. This should be the attitude. I go, oh, topper is somewhere. I am nowhere. And you start looking at the topper sheet. It will not bring in any benefit to you. Remember this. What can I learn? The way he has presented, the points he has written, the data, the way he has shown the data. This is what you should observe. Your success is your success only. I think you got my point right. Your success is your success. It is not about how much time you study. It is how fast I reach that goal post. That is very important. And for that, basically, toppers have done that well. That is the reason they are in the list. And that is the reason we are looking at their sheets. And don't compare topper with your answers now. No comparison. Why no comparison? Because the topper would have written that answer in the 6th attempt. You are starting to write. No comparison. Don't compare and feel you are less than the topper. No. Topper is good. But it is out of a lot of practice that he has reached to that stage. Is that clear? That's all. Okay. Any doubts you have? That's all. So this is how you will focus on the preparation. Clear? Any doubts? No doubts. That means you have understood everything. Or you have not understood anything. Yeah. Yes. No, not obviously not on the first day. First is basic terms. I will look into the terms, understand the words. See, the whole economics runs around 300, not more than 200, 250 words. So I'll understand inflation, deflation, disinflation, capital market, stock market, all are words only. So understand the words first. Don't jump into PYQ. First understand the words. Then read Indian economic development. And then subsequently when you start solving, the first thing you will pick up would be PYQ. Is that okay? Yes. That's all then. Thank you.